Twitter accidentally let the cat out of the bag on a pretty sensitive issue. So this report here is from Mediaite. Twitter admittedly censored large amounts of information referencing Hillary Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta and leaked emails from the Democratic National Committee published prior to the 2016 presidential election. In prepared testimony before the Senate Subcommittee on Crime and Terrorism delivered on October 31st, Twitter's acting general counsel, Sean J. Edgett, acknowledged this large-scale effort to hide potential information by noting, quote, "Before the election, we took action on activity relating to hashtags that have since been reported as manifestations of efforts to interfere with the 2016 election." Edgett made a point to reference Twitter's efforts to hide highly sought-after information related to the DNC. He wrote, with respect to hashtag DNC leak, approximately 23,000 users posted around 140,000 unique tweets with that hashtag in the relevant period. Of those tweets, roughly 2% were from Russian-linked account. As noted above, our automated systems at the time detected, labeled, and hid just under half, 48%, of all the original tweets with hashtag DNC leak. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You see what they just admitted? They said, well, look, with the DNC emails and stuff, about 2% of those were from Russian-linked accounts. By the way, again, what exactly does that mean? They never specify. Is it run by the Russian government? Is it just Russians who are trying to stir up stuff in the U.S. political process? What does that mean? What does that mean? But so they never lay that out. But they say, hey, 2% of the DNC leaks hashtags were from Russians. So we censored nearly 50% of the hashtag DNC leak tweets. You know, I'm not a math genius, but that seems to me like you were just censoring people who tweeted hashtag DNC leaks. I told you. This is what happens when you say, hey, these giant media companies, these corporations, we want you to censor our information, to filter our information for us. Who the fuck made Twitter or Facebook the Ministry of Truth? You trust the judgment of guys like Mark Zuckerberg to just be objectively, empirically correct about what to allow you to see and what to not allow you to see? I don't fucking trust them. I do not trust them for a second. And what did I tell you? That if you say, hey man, there's a lot of fake news that's coming out, and look, every now and then, of course there are genuine fake stories. Fucking Alex Jones is a thing, and he has more subscribers than I do on YouTube. So yeah, sometimes fake news stories actually exist, and they actually have an impact, and that's sad. That's a sad fact of reality. But when you say, I want the media filter overlords in these big corporations to make the decision as to what to censor and what not to censor, there's going to be a lot of things that they count as fake news that are not fake news. So the DNC leaks, by no stretch of the imagination, was fake. They were emails from the DNC that showed the collusion and the rigging that the Democratic Party did against Bernie Sanders. It was true. If Twitter was around during the lead up to the Iraq War, what do you think they would have done? Would they have reported the mainstream media narrative and the establishment narrative of Saddam has weapons of mass destruction and we need to act right now? We need to do the war. Would they have been on that side, or would they have been on the side of the, less than 10% of people who were saying, you know, I'm skeptical. I don't think Saddam has weapons of mass destruction, and maybe we shouldn't do this war. They would have said the people who are against the war are doing fake news. That's what the media companies would have done if they were around in the lead up to the Iraq War. 100%. 100%. Because it was the dominant narrative from the establishment. Virtually everybody in the country agreed that Saddam was a threat and we got to do something to stop it. And WMDs. And we found out much later, the fake news was the thing that the majority of people in the establishment were pushing. That was the fake news. The fake news wasn't the people who were skeptical and were saying, I don't think this is the right idea. But of course the media companies would have said, censor the people who are... I mean, come on, they're saying that Saddam doesn't have WMDs. That's Everybody, CNN says they do. Respectable media says Saddam does have the weapon, so of course, come on, we get rid of the fake news. Well, same thing here. The DNC leaks are true. They happen. It's reality. We learned about all this stuff. All, the Hillary speeches. Remember how she gave speeches saying there's a real sense of bigotry against the rich in America. What? I believe in totally free and open trade borders. What? Which is, by the way, that's like TPP and NAFTA on steroids. These are things that Hillary Clinton said. We learned, of course, Donna Brazile, leaking questions to Hillary Clinton before the debates. We learned, of course, about Debbie Wasserman Schultz pressuring the media and saying, you got to give us better coverage, and if you don't, maybe I'll go talk to your boss. She said that to Morning Joe hosts in emails. So we learned about all the fuckery. We learned about them trying to hide debate times and change the vote times during the election. We learned about all that. And they go, that's fake news. Fake. Why? How? You didn't establish it as fake news. You're just declaring it's fake. Something, Russia. Russia's trying to meddle in our election. So, in other words, it literally doesn't matter. It could be, if it's Russian linked and they say the sky is blue, according to these idiots, trying to influence our election, censor it, ban it, take it off, hide it. What if it's fucking accurate? You don't think these people, again, if they were around, let's say, during Vietnam, and we get the Pentagon Papers released. Remember the Pentagon Papers where we learned about how our soldiers were, and our military, we were doing napalming and Agent Oranging innocent villagers and killing women and children. Remember how we learned that in the Pentagon Papers? What would Twitter have done? What would Facebook have done? What would these big media companies have done if that information was leaked? Look, man, that's some really non-politically correct information, right? I mean, that's information that makes our government look bad. And hey, guess what? It's even illegal to release it. Now, of course, I would argue it was unconstitutional that the government tried to hide it in the first place. But the dominant argument the establishment is going to make is it's illegal to even leak this. Edward Snowden. What are they going to do? Hey, oh shit, it's illegal to let us know that the NSA is spying on every single fucking one of us and the Constitution doesn't fucking exist anymore and it's not enforced. What are they going to do? What's Facebook going to do? What's Twitter going to do? They're going to go, well, we can't show this. The Pentagon Papers is illegal. The Edward Snowden at NSA illegal. We can't hide the hashtags, that hashtag Snowden leaks or hashtag Pentagon Papers. They would have fucking hidden it. Because all they do is go with the establishment wisdom. That's what they're going to do. So don't fucking give these people more power and don't rush to try to make it so that they can be the ministry of truth and they can control what we see and what we don't see. And yes, guess what? Every now and then there's going to be a story like Pizzagate or like some other Alex Jones bullshit. Sandy Hook is a conspiracy. Every now and then, one of those stories is going to get through and it's going to blow up on Facebook or it's going to blow up on Twitter and it's going to be fake news and it's going to get out there and have a bigger impact than it should. That's going to happen from time to time. But guess what? I'd rather have the occasional shitty fake news story get through and blow up than have these giant companies determine what is and isn't real, what is and isn't something you should be able to see. Because more often than not, they are going to censor anything that flies in the face of establishment wisdom. And establishment wisdom is more often than not 100% wrong. So even at this late date, they're admitting it and they're proud about it. Even when Donna Brazile, who was the head of the DNC, came out and said, yeah, Hillary rigged it from the beginning. Even then, now we have lawyers for Twitter coming out and say, well, I mean, we did the good thing of hiding half the DNC leaks hashtags. That's not a good thing. That's you censoring a story that's accurate and that's important information that the American people should know. You should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. The real story isn't Russia influencing the election. The real story is these giant social media outlets controlling the election. That's what it is. It's them influencing the election, meddling in the election, because they're trying to determine what stories are real and what stories aren't for you, as opposed to letting you read and determine for yourself. And this is the same kind of mentality, by the way, that leads to the demonetization that's affecting us massively, that's affecting Humanist Report, that's affecting Jimmy Dore and Tim Black and David Pakman. Like, this is the same thing, and it's not just progressive outlets, it's also conservative outlets. This same kind of thinking of, oh, no, anybody who's a voice that's not mainstream, hey, you gotta demonetize them or censor them or ban them or don't show that hashtag and don't let, those videos show up in the recommended section. It's this kind of thinking that will make it so that all you hear is bullshit establishment wisdom. That's what this is. So stand up and fight against it, because this isn't the answer. The answer is not to allow the Mark Zuckerbergs to determine what you can and can't see, because guess what? He's going to be wrong a large percent of the time.